Hello, everyone, and welcome to Money Talks. Money Talks is a financial literacy program and is brought to you by CFA Society Nigeria. Captain Smart is my name, and today is a very special occasion. It's a very special edition of the program. Nobody saw it coming, but it's here. We have the privilege of hosting the president of CFA Society Nigeria in flesh and blood. The voice you hear that say, "Hi, my name is Ibukun Oyedeji. I'm the president CFA Society Nigeria. Join me every Monday," but she's never here. But today she's here. She's joining us live in the studio. Ibukun Oyedeji, CFA, is with us in the studio here. Good evening to you, Madam President.
Good evening, Captain Swan. Thank you for putting me on the spot.
It's not every day you have Madam President in the studio, so it's good to have you. And our people say that when you see a toad running in the afternoon, if it's not pursuing something is pursuing it.
Okay, so what's pursuing me now?
We'll get to find out all of that this evening. We're going to be having a conversation after we've spoken to Madam President, and that conversation will be centered around investment clubs and associations. So we'll have our special guest in the studio, aside Madam President, Oyinkoinsola Samuel, CFA, and we'll be introducing her just after we've spoken to the President. There's something special happening in the city of Lagos. It's an international conference, and we thought that you should hear it from none other than the president herself. So that's why we brought her. We've managed. It has taken us 1 year to bring Madam President. So because we understand that the CFA Society Nigeria is hosting this international conference around CFA Society. Can you talk to us about this upcoming conference that brought you out this Monday afternoon?
Thank you once again for having me on the show. I'd also want to thank Inspiration FM for the partnership in this. For me, it's a project that is very close to my heart. It's a CSR. The Money Talks is a CSR from CFA Society Nigeria, just to see that the public is well educated on their rights and the privileges they have with the financial industry, and losing the skills of my colleagues in the industry to get all of us educated enough to make the demands on whoever we trust enough with our money on how to save our money. So thank you for the partnership, Inspiration FM.
It's our pleasure.
And thank you for being a very good host of this show, a good ambassador for us, CFA Society Nigeria. And now going to the conference, I walked in and I listened to the radio show and I was like, oh, okay, there's a radio advert on this, which I wasn't even aware of. But it's good. I mean, it's part of the work and tells you how much pillar and support that goes and infrastructure we have as a society behind us that runs the operational needs of the society. So the CFA Institute Africa Investment Conference is the first Africa Investment Conference that the CFA Institute is having. It's in collaboration. For most of the people that have listened to the show, they now have an idea of what CFA Institute is about. They know what the society is. So it's a collaboration of all the African societies and the CFA Institute to hold an Africa Investment Conference to really look into Africa and the opportunities that exist in Africa and how well we can tap into the skills and use the leverage we have to build and rebuild our continent.
Wow.
If you look at the statistics, I'm a numbers person, so I always have to. 1 out of every 8 person on the surface of this earth is an African. I'm sure you've never really thought about it that way.
One out of every 8. That's a large number.
Yes. And if we now go into the black race, you now see what population, because it's interesting for us to know 1 out of every 4 black person is a Nigerian. Wow. How about that?
Wow.
So it just shows you how much resource we have in terms of demographics that we as a society, as in Nigeria now, or Africa as a whole, has not tapped into it. While we look at it and look at the developed country, we need to start looking inwards, which is what the theme is, an emergence of Africa. Is it a rethink or a re-strategizing? We have the tools, we've got the demographics, we've got the mineral resources, we've got the skills on the surface of Africa. So it's about time we start asking ourselves, what's missing? And how do we put the puzzle together to begin to focus on that emergence, or sometimes some people say a re-emergence of Africa. Because if you remember, civilization, the book started in Africa, in Egypt. And then the reemergence tells us that we now need to have an economic emergence on the African surface. And that is really where we're trying to focus. How do we help ourselves to develop our continent to the potential it's got for growth and development? So we're strategically positioned as a powerhouse or power force for the continent, or not only the continent, as a power force for the world. A force to reckon with, if I put it in simple terms.
Very interesting. So when is this international conference happening? When is the date? Where is the venue?
Eco Hotel Convention Center is the event. I know you can see me, I sound a bit more excited than I was before. And that's just because of the excitement. I'm really looking forward to it. 29th and 30th of November. 2-day event. The first day is really focused on a lot of the industry professionals, really taking the different topics. Searching for alpha is one area that really has a lot of CEOs, and CIOs. Why am I saying CEOs of companies? And CIOs are the chief investment officers coming to tell us the opportunities. The search for alpha means how do I get the return above market? Where do I search for the returns that are above market returns across the continent of Africa? So we're bringing in the experts that understand Africa, and they're not just Nigerians, they're Africans on the surface and international speakers to tell us where the opportunities lie and where to tap into those opportunities. There's also some interesting session, ESG. I mean, you've heard that repeatedly, the buzzword on ESG. Now, every continent is accounting for climate change, your environment, social change in terms of poverty elevation. There's a lot of focus. There's also a panel on that discussing the social change, what's going to happen in respect of what is the responsibility of each organization, the government of each country, on ensuring that ESG is being obeyed. And there's a fintech session, which has the giants of the fintechs on Africa. We are going to be taking that panel. And that's why I'm really excited, because these are CEOs and C-suites really coming on the platform to come and discuss with us. It gives us a great opportunity. And the next day, not so that we're not being selfish, all inclusive. Yeah. The other next day also creates an opportunity for students, future professionals, and junior and middle level also to engage with the CEOs, and they begin to speak to them about their careers and how to develop their careers in the future and deliver. And then we have employers, as in, so the organization is going to be there to actually engage people that want to be employed.
So it's like a hub.
It's a very robust conference that's going to address every area depending on where you are and what stage you are in your career, and address the needs that you've got, either from an employer perspective or from an employee perspective or potential employee. So it addresses candidates, everybody that's in the financial industry.
Yes. So you're bringing industry professionals from all over Nigeria, East Africa, Ghana, South Africa, and Mauritius as well.
We're bringing professionals from across Africa.
So how much does it cost? Because this is going to cost a lot of money. I mean, you're going to a co-convention center and you're bringing professionals from all across Africa. Someone listening now will say, Ibuku, how much do I have to pay to attend this conference?
Captain Smith, it's free.
You don't mean it?
And
let me switch to local parlance. You don't want me.
No, because really, like I said, a CSR for us, I mean, like CFS Society Nigeria, our intention is to see an improvement in our financial industry in Nigeria. But if collaborating with our colleagues in the other areas is actually to see an improvement in the African marketplace, the financial industry, and to be on the gold standard of the world. So we're bringing, this is like a corporate social responsibility. Okay. We want to develop the talents we've got in Africa to make them marketable for the employers we have in the society in Nigeria, in any African institution, but also make us on the same level with the international organization, recruitable by the international organization. It's free. But we just want to make sure there are professionals that are in that field, and it's a formal setting, that are in that field that are actually coming for the conference.
Absolutely. So once again, this conference is holding Wednesday 29th and Thursday 30th of November 2023 at Eco Hotel here in Lagos, Nigeria. And you have to register to be part of it. So they have to go to www.aic2023.cfasociety.ng.org. Go there and register. You've heard from the president here. Is a corporate event. It's an international conference. The first time your international president is visiting Nigeria.
Yes. So the CEO of CFA Institute will be visiting Africa for the very first time.
Wow.
Mark Franklin. So she's coming into Nigeria as a first stop in Africa for this conference. That's how much passion she has in developing the continent of Africa for growth and development.
Wow. Thank you very much, Madam President.
you.
Ibukun Oyedeji, President, CFA Society Nigeria, very busy individual. Ibukun is also the Chief Financial Officer at EcoBank Nigeria.
Thank you for having me, Captain Smith.
Thank you so much. And please do come again. You know, it's not every day that Madam President comes around. So we'll crave your indulgence. Just sit around with us in the studio.
I'm here to support my colleague Oinko in my session.
That's very good. That's very good. Our phone lines are open, 0700 923 923 923. You heard from Madam President there. Just in case you have a question to ask regarding the conference or you want more details, you can call in and get the clarifications you need. 0700 923 923 923, or you can just send us a message on WhatsApp 0817 313 6193. Remember, you can head to www.aic2023.cfasociety.ng.org and start to register there. So back here in the studio, we'll have a special guest. I already told you that we'll have in the studio here Oyinkanyisola Samuel, CFA. She's a finance professional with over 5 years of work experience in the financial services industry, spanning across sell-side equity research, microeconomic research, asset management, and sovereign credit and FX strategy in West African markets, specifically Nigeria and Ghana. She currently works at Rand Merchant Bank, RMB Nigeria Limited, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, a leading African corporate and investment bank headquartered in South Africa. In her role at RMB, she is part of a team of strategists and economists spread across several African countries, tasked with proving corporate and institutional clients with detailed and timely analysis of key African markets. Prior to her current role, Oyinkanyisola worked at AXA Mansard Investment Limited, an asset management firm in Lagos, Nigeria. Oyinkanyisola is a CFA charter holder and holds a bachelor's degree, wait for it, in chemical engineering from the University of Lagos. Oyinkanyisola, how do people do it? From chemical engineering to a CFA charter holder.
It's all about the analytical mind.
Oh, really?
If you're an engineer, you can plug in anywhere.
You can engineer anything.
Anything.
Engineers do that a lot. They say if you're an engineer, you can do anything. So today we're going to be discussing with her, with the time we have left, investment clubs and associations. Remember, the phone lines are open, 0700 923 923 923, or you can send messages to WhatsApp 0817 313 6193. So, Oyinkanyisola, very quickly, there are many groups made by people to serve different objectives, and people just set up these groups here and there. They have societies, associations, cooperatives, and all of that. But today we're going to be focusing on investment clubs.
Yeah.
People can set them up here and there. So can you tell us what's an investment club to begin with? Let's define that that term, investment club.
Yeah, thanks, Captain Smart. Happy to be here. So simply put, an investment club is a group of people who have pulled their monies together for the purpose of investing. That's the very simple definition. I think as Nigerians culturally, we're very familiar with savings groups, societies, cooperatives, like you said. Those are great. It's a good way to set money aside, but I always say saving is good, but investing is better. So investment clubs are for the purpose of investing. Now, it can be as informal as I don't know, all four of us in this studio come together and put our monies together for the purpose of investing. And it can be as formal as their investment clubs rather, with as many as thousands of members, right? With proper structure, there's a whole partnership team. Some of them leverage on, investment managers to help manage their funds and pick, do asset allocation for them. They have membership fees. It can be very structured, but also it can be very informal. It can just be a group of friends. It could be siblings. Just come together, put your money together for the purpose of investing. So that's, at the heart of it, that's the definition
of investment club. So why would a group of individuals, maybe let's say like friends or maybe colleagues in the office, why do they want to start an investment club?
Yeah.
What are the reasons there?
Yeah, good question. I mean, why not just invest on your own?
Yeah, it's my money.
Right? Why do you need to know what I'm doing?
Talking about, plenty places where you can invest your money.
Yeah.
Why do I need a club?
Yeah, no, good question. So first, the main reason why many people sort of get into investment clubs is because for many types of investing, you need a large sum of money to invest. Now, in this year, 2023, there are many solutions where you can invest with as little as 1,000 naira, 5,000 naira. If you're investing in USD, you can invest with $10. But there are some asset classes that you might want exposure to that have a high, for lack of a better word, barrier to entry, right? So if you wanted to invest in real estate, right, a house or commercial real estate, it's not small money, and unfortunately, we're Nigeria, one of the poverty capitals of the world. Yeah. Not too many people have the ammunition to buy a house just off the fly. You feel like you need to save for decades to be able to buy a house. But if you come into a club with groups of people, you can leverage on the strength in the group, right, and pool your monies together to access investment types like real estate. Another example, if you wanted to buy, say, a federal government of Nigeria bond at the auction, on the day of the primary auction, you need a minimum lot size is about 50 million naira, right? Not too many people have that.
Okay, so just hold your thought there.
Sure.
Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening to you. Okay, we lost the call there. If you're trying to reach us, the number is 0700 923 923 923. That's 0700 923 923 923. Never mind, if you can't get through today, we'll bring Madam President another time and devote the time. I'm sure what she has said now, people are going to be saying, wow, wow, wow. So we'll devote a whole episode to talking about that conference, maybe in 2 weeks' time or next week. We'll try to get her around. So as you were saying.
Yeah, so first reason, because you can leverage on the strength in numbers to gather enough money to investing in assets that probably require a large amount of money to investing. Another reason would be to diversify. If you just have your own sum of money, it might not be enough to invest across different asset classes. And diversification is really a good way to hedge risk. You can get lucky and invest in one thing and it gives you the best returns, but you can also be unlucky and invest in one thing and that thing does really, really poorly. Meanwhile, if you had invested in a number of assets, you can spread the risk and hedge against, unfavorable outcomes. So it's a good way to diversify if you don't have a lot of money. Join a group that's investing in very many different asset classes, and that way you can diversify. So I'd say the top two reasons why a lot of people join, or when I joined an investment club, top two reasons for me were I can join other people and we have more money to invest in things that probably weren't accessible to me, and then I can diversify across many different asset classes by virtue of being in that group.
So that's like going into the advantages and disadvantages of investment clubs.
Exactly.
So compare that to me just taking my money and going to invest all by myself. In Africa, people will say, before somebody's bad luck, bring bad luck to me. Let me just take my money and go to one investment house or company and put my. What are the advantages and disadvantages of doing that as against going on my own?
Yeah, and just to say, there's really no like you can as well invest on your own if you have, the 50 million naira to buy the FGN bond at auction day. All well and good, you can go and get that exposure on your own. But for a lot of Nigerians, right, especially in this day and age, you probably don't have that much money. So like I said, some of the advantages, you can diversify, you can access things that probably you weren't able to access prior. A lot of these investment clubs also organize sessions, like learning sessions, such that you can learn from each other, build your skills in terms of investing. You can also reduce, you can share the costs. So for a lot of investments, there's fees, so you can share the fees with other people. You don't have to, take the fees alone. For disadvantages, I'd say the one that sticks out to me is you can't just decide that you're done with the investment. You've band it together with other people. So if you want to liquidate, you have to consider what's going to happen to the larger pool, right? So whereas if you had just gone and bought the asset on your own, you can take decisions, and if you wanted to, if there was a pre-liquidation charge that you could stomach, all well and good. But if you're in an investment club, you do have to consider the group, and many clubs wouldn't allow you pre-liquidate without some prior terms being fulfilled.
Okay, assuming we have a group of people now, they have the same mindset as far as investments are concerned. How do they go about setting up these investment clubs?
Yeah. So like I said, it can be pretty informal. Nothing too technical. If you have a group of friends and you guys all have the same, investment philosophy, you all want to invest in the same things, you can just bring everyone together. But what's ideal is that there's a leader, right? There's someone who is at least investment savvy, who knows some of these asset classes and can provide guidance. Now, as this group grows, it will be ideal to put a legal structure around it. In other climes, it would typically take the form of a partnership. I'm not a lawyer, so I can't really speak to what the legal structure would be, but it would be ideal just so that you can put proper guidelines in place, put bylaws in place, so that people know what the structure of the society is when they're making inflows, and when to expect returns to come from the society as well. So it can be really just, you can start an investment club now, you and your friends. But as it grows, if you guys start to find more people, it would be ideal to put structure around it just so that everyone is guided. Yeah.
In case you're just tuning in now, we are almost at the concluding end of CFA Society Nigeria's Money Talks here on Inspiration Radio. We've been talking with Oyinkan Oyinsola here, who's been talking to us about a number of issues around investment clubs. We'll be back after this time out. Let's just take a breather. Join us again.
We are professionals. We are impact-driven. We are CFA Society Nigeria, a member society of the CFA Institute Global Network of Societies. Our mission is to promote the highest standard of practice in the Nigerian financial services industry and provide a vibrant community for our members. The CFA Charter signals the holders' commitment to professional excellence. As thought leaders, we collaborate with stakeholders to ensure adherence to ethical standards, better education for professionals, and to build market integrity. We are the leading voice for advocacy in the finance and investment industry in Nigeria. To partner with us or become our member, visit us at cfasocietynг.org for more details. CFA Society Nigeria, making finance a force for good.
Money Talks. Money Talks.
Money Talks. Money Talks.
Money Talks with CFA Society Nigeria. Let's talk about money.
Welcome back to Money Talks here on Inspiration Radio, and it's been an education here, really. Sometimes you just wish this thing would just go on and on and on and on. We had earlier with us in the studio here the president of CFA Society Nigeria, Ibukun Oyedeji, talking to us about the international conference that is coming up this November, Wednesday 29th and Thursday 30th of November 2023. The venue is Eco Hotel here in Lagos. If you're interested in that, bringing industry professionals from all over Africa, you can head to www.aic2023.cfasocietynG.org and start to register on that particular platform. And messages coming up here. Somebody is asking the question here. This is directed to Madam President. Say, how does one become a CFA member? That's the first question. And the second question says, how does one know the right investment club to join? I think that one will be directed to you. So this person says, how does one become a CFA member? And the second one says, how does one know the right investment club to join?
I'll take the first question.
Okay.
So that I can talk about. I can always come next week or next time to talk more about membership.
So how does one know the rights? That's the what we're going to leave this over. Just
sure.
a minute, yeah.
So just like you making an investment on your own, you do need to do due diligence, right? Does your investment philosophy, and I know that sounds like a big word, but it's just, are you high risk? Are you medium risk? Are you low risk? What kind of investments do you typically, gravitate towards? Does that align with the club that you're, I guess, prospecting? So think of your investment philosophy, find an investment club that aligns with that. You do want one, if you're not, an integral member of starting one, you want one that has a bit of structure, when the periods when you make payments to the club, when to expect to receive income from whatever investment has been done via the club. So just think of one that aligns with your philosophy and one that has, enough structure around it such that you're comfortable to leave your money with the people who are running the club. Yeah.
Many more questions are coming. People are interested in CFA. So what are the benefits of being a CFA member? So two now. How does one become a CFA member, and what are the benefits of being a CFA member? I know a bit about that when I attended one of your meetings. The reading, the exam.
So, Captain Smart, before I go to CFA, like I said, I promise I'll come in next week to really take a session on CFA.
Wow.
God willing, I think I'll come in. I really would have to look at my calendar, but yes, as long as if I don't come in, one of the board members would come in, but I think I'll try to take that session. But just to emphasize what Oyinkan was saying around investment clubs, we are actually, CFA Society Nigeria is partnering with the universities across Nigeria to set up investment clubs across the universities, and that's just an opportunity for us to introduce them into the ethics of engaging in a club. What are the rules in setting up an investment club? What are the investments you're going to make? How do you understand the instruments to invest in? What are the rules and regulations and guidance that you need to be able to be a successful club? Just in case the students listening on the platform, we intend to work with about 29 universities. We've actually enrolled 3 at the moment. Babcock, I can't remember the universities off my head right now, but next week I'll give you more information on them. And then we're still going to work with the remaining 26 or more as a COM to make sure we have a structure for them to be investment clubs. I'm very conscious of time. I don't want to go into CFA because I know it will take about next week. I'll dedicate the whole session to CFA. Today is about Econ. I wanted to say, I don't want to steal the shine off.
And we have actually run out of time. 30 minutes is not a long time.
I know.
We'll have to adjourn here. Maybe another time, Oyinkan Oyesola will come back into the studio to continue this education. Oyinkan Oyesola, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you very much for having me.
Madam President, Ibukun Yereji, thank you so much for coming. And we're announcing now that she will come back next week.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Stay tuned.
Thank you so much.
Alpha Club is up next.
It's